Hi comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. As you can see, I'm back from Spain, I'm home. It's been a busy couple of days. I arrived back to a load of boxes from auctions which were delivered while I was away, and I've just begun really to sort through them. I bought 3 lots at an auction from an auction house in Glasgow about a month ago now. So I actually bought them before I went on holiday. It took quite a long time to get delivered, but they were delivered while I was away. I'm going to share all 3 of these lots with you, but not in one go because they're big lots. I'm going to share the first lot with you. This was the most expensive lot. So this lot I spotted. It was a huge collection of X-Men, various types, the actual X-Men run itself, the main X-Men run, but also some X-Force, some X-Factor, and various other X-Men related comics. A huge lot, including the run, the sort of run from about 100, I've got, goes from 110, I think, all the way through to nearly 200. Now, when I valued this lot, so I put a value on this lot, I went through and roughly valued the keys, and I assumed that, modernish comics, when it's modernish comics, there were some photographs, and they looked mid-grade to me. So I based the valuation on them being 7.0s. And I reckoned the lot was worth about, based on that, just valuing the sort of key comics, I reckoned the lot was worth 1,500. Anyway, the auction came along. It was the first comic lot, okay, of the comics that were for sale. Now, one of the things I have noticed is the first lot sometimes does not get as good a price as the following lot because, they've been selling teapots, and then suddenly they're selling comics. So all the teapot collectors are still around and the comic collectors haven't yet arrived, or some of them haven't. So this was the first lot. As I said, I valued it at 1,500. I won the lot for £575. Okay, now I've got buyer's premium to add on to that. So about 700 quid these cost me. Well, when I got home and opened up this lot, I was gobsmacked. This was a bit like one of those moments when I imagine people have when they find a pedigree collection, because these comics, which I'd expected to be in sort of mid-grade, are not. They're in high grade. These have not been sat in comic shops. These have not been bought secondhand. I think this guy bought all these comics new and looked after them. Now, they weren't properly bagged and boarded. I've had to spend some time bagging and boarding these. But for the most part, these are near mint plus. I think most of these are 9s and 9 plus. So my valuation at 1,500 was way short, okay? I haven't revalued this lot yet. I've been too busy bagging and boarding and just standing there with my mouth agape. Now, one of the other things you'll notice is that the majority of these are UK price variants. Not all of them. There's some US price variants in there because most of the sort of key X-Men run was about 77, 78. And they still had dual pricing. So they still had US price comics and UK price comics. The change to the dual pricing with both the prices on was in 1982. So the majority of these are UK price variants. And you'll see that. There are some US ones in here as well. So I'm going to show you some of this collection. I'm not going to show you all of it because it's massive. But the first and earliest of the X-Men is this one. And actually, this is a US price variant. And it's number 106. Okay. And that's in really good condition. Can't see anything wrong with it. Then we jump to number 110, X-Men 110. And then, and I like this cover, this is X-Men 111. And all the X-Men are now in a carnival as freaks. No, I like that cover. As you can see, we've got UK price variant. And interestingly, up here it says Marvel All Colour Comics. And colour is spelt the English way. Now, my friend Kyle, who knows one of the letterers from this era, says that the letterers were responsible for going through the foreign editions and correcting all the spellings so that they were appropriate for the country they went to. Well, they certainly did on the cover. I'm going to go through a few of these and see if I can find evidence of corrections inside the comics. Okay. Then we have got X-Men 112. We've got X-Men 113. X-Men 114, and this is a classic cover, The Day the X-Men Died. Look at that, absolutely minty clean, minty clean. I'm gonna have to probably get some of these graded, some of these keys. This is number 116. Number 118, we seem to be missing 117. 119. 120, and for those of you who are in the know they're X-Men, this is the first appearance of Alpha Flight. Now, this is one of the only comics that isn't in a minty condition. I'd say this is probably in a 6/0. It's got a bit of spine damage, but this is the first appearance of Alpha Flight in X-Men 120, Chaos in Canada. Then we have got 123. And we have got 124. Next up, 125. It's a great classic cover. The dramatic return of the Phoenix. Look at that cover. The yellows and the blacks and the Phoenix figure. Great cover. X-Men 125. X-Men 126, In Search of Mutant X. X-Men 127, The Power of Proteus. X-Men 129, and I think this is one of these key comics. Is this the first appearance of Kitty Pryde? First appearance of Emma Frost? Maybe. Look at that. And it is in beautiful condition. I think that comic's worth a few quid. Next up, and this is a stunning cover. This is the first appearance of Dazzler in X-Men 130. What an absolute dazzler. Look at that. And it is clean, clean, clean. That's definitely in the 9s. First appearance of Dazzler, X-Men 130. Next up, great cover again, X-Men 131. I mean, when you're on a roll, guys, you're on a roll. X-Men 132. She's the last one. The Hellfire Club has defeated the X-Men. Winner of 5 Eagle Awards. And quite right too. And then another, they just keep rolling. They just keep rolling. The keys in this series just keep rolling. This is a fantastic one. I think this is Wolverine's first solo cover. Something like that. It's definitely a key Wolverine cover. Wolverine absolutely going in for the kill. And again, it is absolutely mint clean. Look at the sharpness of that corner. No spine ticks. It is clean, clean, clean. Great cover. And they just keep going. 1, 3, 4. Heroes and Hellfire. The Hellfire Club has transformed Phoenix into their Black Queen, and the X-Men too late to save her or themselves. Of course, we're in the Dark Phoenix saga now. One of the most famous stories in comics. And here she is in X-Men 135, Dark Phoenix. But I'm afraid it's not going to last. And the final phase of the Phoenix, and we've got the classic cover with Cyclops carrying the body of Phoenix. X-Men 137, it's a double-size special. Phoenix Must Die, this is a sense copy. I don't know why we've got a sense copy for this one, but we have. Another great comic. And then, of course, we follow up with 138, Cyclops Leaves the X-Men. Another classic cover with the sort of reprints of the cover, the other previous covers in the background in pink. Wow. What a set to have. What a set of comics to have. 139. Welcome to the X-Men Kitty Pryde. Hope you survive the experience. 140, and we just go on and on. This is a classic Wendigo, Wolverine Wendigo cover. Collectible in its own right. Next up, another classic cover. X-Men 141. And as I said, all of these are really, really phenomenally clean. You just don't see them in this condition in the wild. This is a real find. These X-Men in this condition, I'm just lucky really to have picked this up. There cannot have been any serious comic collectors at the auction house to have let me get away with getting this lot for 700 quid. Right, and this is the last of the X-Men run I'm going to show you, 142. Right, okay, because that's as far as I've got in terms of bagging that run. Right, I'm just going to show you a few of the other keys that came in this. There we go, X-Men 266, first appearance of Gambit in near mint condition. How much is that worth by itself? I've also got the annual. The annual is the cameo appearance. I think it's annual 14. And this is the first full appearance. So I've got them both. So if you want to argue the annual is his full appearance, got that as well. Brilliant. What else have we got here? Okay, so we got X-Force. X-Force 1. Rob Liefeld classic. X-Force 2, second appearance of Deadpool. And X-Force 3, a nice Juggernaut cover. What else have we got here? Okay, we've got X-Men 1. The most heavily printed comic of all time. I think there were 4 different covers. Each of them had a print run of 2 million. So this is not a rare book, but it's actually worth a few quid. This is one of the variant covers. I think it's worth 30, 40 quid now. Amazing. X-Men 23. X-Men 24. I mean, I'm just showing you some of this. Is the Gambit Rogue Kiss cover. This is really nice. X-Men 25 with the hologram. And the hologram, the Gambit hologram, works really well. I've never seen one of these holograms works as well as this hologram on here. I'm not sure it works on, I'm not sure the hologram's going to work on the camera. But it works in real life. And X-Men 26. I'm just showing you some of these random ones. What else have we got in here? We have got classic X-Men #1. That's worth a few quid now as well. Classic X-Men number 2. Classic X-Men number 3. Okay, however, those are the sort of keys I've picked out for you. But let me just show you what I've still got to go through. Look, there's a whole box here. I'll get my camera to see it. There we go. A whole box of these still to go from this lot. Okay. So I'm just going to pull out the next bag. So the next bag, the way you did these is you sort of bag them up and, you know, what do we got? X-Men. So that, you know, some of them are in these sort of single bags. None of them are bordered. You know, just sitting here, you know, we've got this one, which again is a classic cover, an Aliens type cover. Just sat there, no bag, no board. A lot of them came like this, just grouped together in sort of ring binder sort of covers, you know, like this. Look at them all. I need to bag and board all. Look, another set, 175. I mean, I know a lot of these are just fillers, but you know, here, there we go. Just randomly in there, first appearance of Forge, new. This guy clearly bought these new. Hardly ever touched them, I don't think. Just put them away until I suspect he passed on. And somebody just gave the comics to an auction house. Auction house doesn't know what they're doing with comics. And some lucky person like me comes along and pays a fraction. I mean, I paid 700 quid. I would be surprised. You know, I haven't added all these up, but you know, that key X-Men run there, virtually all of those are 9+. You know, a couple of those come in at 9.8. This is sort of a £5,000 collection. You know, it just goes on and on. So there we go. Let me tell you guys, the other 2 lots that I picked up from Glasgow, one of them is probably better than this, and I only paid £170 for it. So keep your eyes peeled for my next couple of videos, and I'm going to show some of the comics from the other 2 lots I picked up from Glasgow. Glaswegian comic collectors, where were you? Where were you? You should have made me work harder for this. Okay, that's your lot. See you again soon.